See?
Return.
Turn your phone. You can't. See? We have to turn the phone.
No, I think it's all right. I hope we're not upside down. So here we are, these moments.
No, we're just going to give it a try.
We're the elders, remember? It's been a long time, hasn't it?
It's been a hell of a long time.
It's a long time since we last spoke to you, and you know, you may have to turn your phone and we're on our heads or something because we're trying to manage this technology. So, an official hello. Hi, it's Juliet here and lovely Marby.
Hello, hello. And we're together in France, in southwest France.
Oui, la France, vive la France. So here we are in this beautiful Marby's beautiful garden. And
beautiful garden. And I wish to give an homage to this place because we're moving into our 6 months without rain, except for 2 days. 2 days in the last 6 months. So I really want to give homage to Mother Nature. And today, Mother Hen, while I was away, Mother Hen sitting on her eggs has given birth to
8
little chicks.
A fabulous number, 8 chicks.
8.
Don't shake the table, Brigitte.
8, the divine number. 8, the infinite.
The infinite number. So here we are, and I'm quite wired and tired because I flew out here yesterday, and then we were up doing our yabba until late into the night, and
till way after midnight.
So excited to be here, and Brigitte had warned me that the energies are very intense here, and I think they are. And yes, so we tried to do a siesta under the trees, but we couldn't do that because so wired. And I had the idea that maybe we can do a little live video and say hi. And a big apology because we kind of dropped off doing our elders' wisdom without warning. And yeah, we've been working really hard since then, even though we haven't done the elders' wisdom, because we have been holding our respective centres, so to speak, our inner centres, which, you know, resourcing, but holding the centres, holding the community. And it's been a hell of a hard time, hasn't it? Has it been a hard time?
It's been pretty intense with the energies and what's rolling out everywhere. And I feel what's been the most challenging is the witnessing in presence of so many people around who are experiencing injuries and trauma.
Death.
Yeah, and death. And I haven't yet met one family who has not been impacted.
Yeah. Every family's been impacted in one way or another, and we're caught in not just with those first wave of things that we were concerned about, but now we're witnessing wave after wave of all sorts of things. And I was telling Brigitte last night about the woke agenda. So she didn't. She wasn't familiar, being in France, not so familiar with that term, but I'd been following it a lot, and what the Democrats in America have been rolling out in terms of mind control and altering people's consciousness and getting them to believe things that simply aren't true. And there's lots of things like that, like the whole thing about what's happening with the weather and what's happening with health, and so many fake agendas and falsehoods that people are believing in, and it's so distressing. And like last night I was telling Marby about the whole thing about changes of like telling people that they weren't one sex or another, telling little children and getting them really, really confused about things. So that's what we were talking about.
And today, with the birth, suddenly there was this delight suddenly of seeing this mother while I was away by the ocean, witnessing the changes and witnessing as well the weather. Like every evening, the sunsets, which were beautiful before, you would see the red sun going down. every evening there was this kind of curtain of grey coming over it. And most people don't even realize that this is just, yes, the weather being manipulated. They have the technology to do that. That technology over 80 years ago was offered to humanity. However, it's like everything. We can use something for the good of life, or we can deviate that and misuse that technology. My feeling right now is it has been misused. And it's been misused in France. It's been misused to roll out that there is a global warming. I'm not saying there isn't a change in the planetary weather, but there definitely is some hidden agenda. So
Well, hidden in plain sight, isn't it?
Yes, we are seeing everything now in plain sight. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Everything is coming up in your face, and you
Yeah.
can either be completely mesmerised and believe it's not happening, or you can see it and you can be very distressed. And then you have this polarity within families, like some of the family members are seeing the one side of this and the other members are seeing the other, and then there's this conflict because we've got two different realities or multiple realities going on at the same time, and it's really distressing, and there's conflict, and it's really, really painful. I mean,
It is painful. We were talking last night how very painful, how very stressful it is, right deep into our nervous systems. Yes, and it's not that we are, neither Juliet nor I, we are not in the I am presence, I am surrendering, because we're both very consciously aware that there is a much higher divine plan unfolding. However, as we are witnessing now in plain sight, all this, what was hidden, what were hidden agendas, what were enslavement programs, what were colonialization. Hundreds of centuries ago, we were colonializing other countries. Then we started colonializing other places.
life itself.
And now we're colonializing the body with
Nanotechnology.
yes, nanotechnology, and now there is a colonializing of the genders of our children. So today, witnessing this hen who's been sitting on eggs, this is a young hen. Why did she go broody? I have no idea. But I've had hens before, and they didn't used to go broody. And I was just asking the universe 6 months ago, how interesting how animals are changing, and how what used to be a very natural process of hens being broody, now it's quite a rare occurrence. And then I went and bought 3 hens, and out of those 3, one went broody.
Why is that rare? I mean, hens go broody. I mean, the point I want to make is about nature, the male, you know.
It's the nature. The nature is hens naturally do go broody.
So what's changed when you say, oh, well, you haven't seen them go broody for a while? Is that because weather patterns are disturbed? Or
I think weather patterns have been
or
disturbed.
they're being sprayed from the skies with
Yes,
poisons? and
definitely there has been a shift. So I'm a little bit sort of shocked to witness a birth as we're entering into winter.
Yeah, so it's the time in the season. So
Yeah.
hens normally go broody, but the point we were talking about is male and female. It's
Yes.
like, it's interesting because we've been friends for a very long time. And we were leading, before we ever met, we were leading parallel lives with, like, I've had 6 children, you had 5 children.
I have 5 live children, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I've
many
got 4 live
grandchildren.
children.
Yes.
And how many
Yeah.
grandchildren do you have?
Well, I've got 16 grandchildren.
16 grandchildren, and I'm a newbie in grandmotherhood. I've only got 2 grandchildren. So
That's beautiful.
every single birth that I ever had was either a male or a female, and my children are male or female.
Same
And
for me.
Same for you, and your
Yes.
grandchildren as well.
Yes, so when they're
Yeah.
born, the beautiful thing, my father having been a doctor was delivering babies, and he was delivering cattle as well. This was wartime, going skiing in a place in France, in the Ardèche, where in the winter you have 3 to 4 months with 2 to 3 meters deep in snow. So farmers and small villages don't have doctors, right? So the feeling is, my dad used to deliver mothers and cattle too, and the first thing that the people would be asking, "What is it, doctor?" And he would say, "Oh, it's a boy."
It's a boy or
"Oh,
it's a girl.
it's a girl, doctor."
Yeah.
And then my dad would be rewarded with a dozen of egg or something else, because in those days you were paid in what do you call it?
Cattle? No.
No.
Loaves of bread?
Not after war.
Milk?
Sometimes milk, sometimes a dozen of eggs, sometimes if it was saving life, something much bigger.
Yeah.
You know.
So in all the other thing that's been parallel with Brigitte and I, Mabi, and is that we've both had small holdings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you told me you used to, when your children were little, you raised pigs and
Yes, geese, hens, sheep, goats, and guinea fowls.
yeah. And interestingly enough, I've also had small holdings several times, and I've had goats and chickens and geese and pigeons and rabbits
Yeah.
and hens and ducks, lots of animals, and neither of us have ever seen anything but either male or female. There are 2 genders. I want to make this really clear.
Yeah.
There are 2 genders.
Yeah.
There aren't 100 genders. There aren't 12 genders.
No.
Okay.
No.
So this is our
Well,
eldest.
sometimes Mother Nature has a twist. Sometimes Mother Nature has a twist, okay, within the chromosomes. We're not going there. But what I want to say, globally, it's female or male.
Yeah.
So what's going on with what is being rolled out right now? It feels very insane. We're discussing how nauseous I experienced some of these, what you call them, drama queens. No, they're not called drama queens.
I'm not drama. I'm a drama queen. No, the drag queens.
The drag queen, yes.
The drag queens. So we're talking about the deliberate confusing of little children's minds and what a crime that is. It's like the critical race theory that's been rolled out in schools in America has now been introduced into England
and France,
and also making it illegal for parents to actually intervene in any way, whereas their minds are being corrupted by this a Marxist program, confusing children and telling them that it's wrong, that there's no such thing as male and female, but there's a whole host of genders, and manipulating their minds so that they begin to believe that they're somewhere on this spectrum of these different genders, which is quite clearly a nonsensical
totally
and an evil agenda. And then the poor children are really distressed, and then they believe this, and then they begin to feel like they're born into the wrong body, because that's the ideology that's being taught to them.
And it's interesting because this is happening after the last 2.5, 3 years of the quarantines, the mask wearing, and the mandatory experimentation, where it's put a huge amount of pressure on parents, on grandparents, and on children, and on newborn.
So we're not saying that we're unsympathetic for any child or young person finding themselves in that position.
Oh, no, I'm not, on the contrary.
Now they're confused because they think they're the other sex.
No, because there is a huge issue after all this hiding your face. Who am I? What is my identity? What is my community? Where do I belong? There is such layers of collective trauma ongoing, unfolding right now. And there is all this other stuff now being rolled out with this, yes, colonialization of gender. I'm shocked.
So the woke agenda, what's arising out of the democratic thing, which is a Marxist, we think we're being taught like, oh, the right is fascist and they're taking over the world. But what we're actually seeing is the left is fascist and it's communist and it's Marxist, and that's what's taking over the world,
And it's
or
the green,
attempting to.
and it's under the green agenda.
Yeah. It's the, and the Great
it's,
Reset. It's like I was not militant, but I was like totally believing in all that stuff until a couple of years ago. I've been recently called a racist and a sexist by my children. Well, you might believe that, but both of us care really deeply about people and about the planet, and now
we do. We're serving. I mean, we are both totally serving the planet. I mean, I'm rescuing chickens. I bought 3 hens because they were scooped in this little place in the shop, and I felt really sorry for them. So my heart was really going out, and I felt really sorry as well for these cockerels, which landed in my garden, which are not my cockerels, but they chose to live here.
But the whole thing with the Marxist agenda, the right wing, is like you have to be politically correct, and if you actually question that there's anything wrong with this idea of 12 genders, or there's anything wrong with this idea that the planet's climate is changing, if you question those things, then you're politically wrong, and then you're attacked. And in America they talk about the cancel culture, so there's a lot of great people standing up against this now, like we showed
Neil Oliver
last and
night.
JP Sears and
JP Sears too, and Hugo Talk.
Hugo and this brilliant Canadian,
yes.
What's his name?
I don't know that one.
Oh, it'll come in a moment. But anyway, there's lots of people. There's millions of people standing up against this. So that's my battery a bit low. So you might lose. We're filming this simultaneously, 2 phones. I hope you get it. So yeah, this is wrong. It's mind control. It's a deliberate attempt to confuse people's minds, to split families.
But especially the children, they're under attack right now. After years where the children really went for something that really, I mean, you imagine 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old upwards having to be hiding behind a mask, having to see their teachers behind a mask, having to go shopping behind a mask, or having to stay in quarantine as you're an adolescent. So many of the young ones, because they felt trapped, they felt imprisoned being in their homes, they ended up going with the experimentation, so they could go to parties, so they could see their friends.
Yes, so the children have been under attack in all sorts of ways. So with this thing about gender,
that's another layer.
It's being kept secret from parents. Are being kept out of this. They're not allowed. They're even threatened with imprisonment in the USA and Australia. But meanwhile, children are being offered, which is really evil, hormones, puberty blockers, and then surgery, not just surgery that cuts off the genitals, but surgery that removes ribs, that shaves off the brow bone, that tries to change the whole structure of a person to make them look like the other side. Well, this is really evil to roll out, and
these are pretty grotty,
gruesome.
Not grotty, gruesome. I'm sorry, I'm not English. Gruesome details Juliet has just mentioned.
Yeah.
But if you do your research, this is a reality. I remember at the age of 14, I had a near-death experience, and then my dad was injecting me every day hormones, and every time he did it, he cried, and he said, "I'm really, really sorry, because I don't know what they're going to do to you." But he was coming from the heart. Now, where they're coming from is not from the heart. It's a taking over of our children's bodies, of our children's healthiness, of our children's DNA, of our children's sense of identity and sanity. Sanity.
Yeah, sanity. So, this is all a bit heavy. My battery's going to run out in a minute, but I want to give you hope. I've got a few more things I want to share, but I want to give you hope that we're rising in our millions at this point in time.
Oh, we are. We definitely are.
And
the energies are supporting us.
Yeah, the astrology.
We are in astrology, but we are going through the Fulton Belt. And this is the end. We've just been through the moon in Scorpio and the eclipse, and on the 8th of November, we will move at 0 degree of Aries, which is a new beginning. So hang on in there, hang on in there,
Yes.
because that's going to set up the energy for Mars, even though Mars is retrograde right now, so, and square Neptune. So there's still a lot of illusion, still a lot of not clarity, but it's not going to be there forever. So hang on in there, dearest loved ones, because the Fulton Belt is, we are getting the most amazing photon lights, and people are waking up, that we are remembering we're beings of light, and we have the most amazing keys. So can we go in the heart? Can we share of our wisdom? So when we meet other people, there's nothing we need to say. Just stay in your heart and radiate that solar energy of who you are born to be.
Yeah.
The rest will fall. It's falling down. It's like Juliet was saying, we're seeing it in broad daylight. Me being by the ocean, I was seeing every evening with my sister the curtain of grey coming over the sun.
Yeah. So don't go. We're coming up to the 31st of October, and this is a very dark time for the global elite, for the where the satanic practices don't go with this idea of Halloween. It's a satanic thing, and as Tucker Carlson said recently, it's a child sacrifice culture that they're trying to push. So the Satanism is one thing, the whole abortion, and I'm not against, this is complex, so I'm trying to give you so much stuff in a nutshell.
Maybe we'll do another Elder's Wisdom.
Yeah, but maybe we have to start doing again, but so much has been hijacked, and that you think you're supporting a good thing like women's rights or the rights of indigenous communities, but it's cynical the way people have been hijacked, so they're giving their energy to what's actually an agenda to manipulate and control them. So the whole abortion thing, it's like abortions are being used to create products that go into the food chain, that go into the medical chain, into the beauty industry. I mean, that's one thing that's completely horrific.
Yeah.
So children are being attacked in that way. Children are being attacked through the manipulation of their agendas. They're being attacked by the lockdowns. They're being attacked by the use of lethal shots into them. So many ways that our children are being attacked. So take care of your children.
Yes, and do watch Neil Oliver. He did a very beautiful video. I think it was 3 days ago.
Yeah, I posted it on my timeline.
Yes,
so that's very beautiful.
It's a very beautiful one, when he links what happened in Paris with this young 12-year-old who was found murdered, to discovering archaeologists in Peru, 3 young people who had been sacrificed.
Yeah, so children are being sacrificed.
That was 600 to 800 years ago. So the key here is, can we just create a little bit more spaciousness in our lives to really say we are going to accept, not just to keep the lead and put our head in the sand and pretend it's all good, it's all okay, and it's all going to resolve itself by itself. No, we each need to become more consciously present, witnessing, and backing, what's the word? Really being there to witness the collective trauma coming up, the individual trauma, but what is rolling out with the Great Reset that is being presented to us as the best thing ever for humanity.
But it's not. We go with the Great Awakening, and that's happening.
Yes, it's the Great Awakening is, please,
Wake up.
wake up and be mindful that every year tens of thousands of children disappear. Most of us, we don't want to acknowledge that.
Yeah, human
because it disturbs us.
child trafficking.
Yeah,
You know, the whole thing with Epstein, the thing with Jimmy Savile, the thing with the royals. It's all coming to light. So hold on to your seats. There's a lot of disclosure coming on, but it's an amazing cleansing. And we're all standing up against this incredible evil that's unfolding at this. It's just coming to light.
We need
to see it because it's been going on for thousands of years, as
Yes.
Neil Oliver has pointed out. But
This is not new. This has been going on for a long, long time. And we are part of that. So may I invite you, check out your thought forms. Check out when you project onto anyone or anything. Check out when you're cutting a tree down or when you're eating food. How am I with that? Can you please honor whatever your choice is? Because this is going to have an impact on the whole of this cosmos. We are very, very powerful. Remember, we are the most powerful human beings. Human beings. Our heart is more powerful than our brains. So remember, when you hold a thought, what are you co-creating? So 1,000 blessings.
Yeah, lots of blessings to you. All my love to you, each one of you, whatever you're going through at this moment in time, wherever you're at in your lives. It's an immensely challenging time.
And remember, only keep from this video what touches you. We're only sharing as elders, and we're sharing because we are both aware that the young ones, the parents of our children, parents of other children, and grandparents are all facing major, major challenges and ordeals with having to make choices. So we are there with you. We are not separate. Let's unify in this field and know you're not alone. Blessings. And it's Mabi.
I'm Juliet.